Good morning. My name is Cyrus Tare, and mine is to give you the objectives of this workshop today. And before I do that, I would briefly introduce what we do at the consortium, which is the African Genetic Biocontrol Consortium, or basically we call it the consortium. It's okay, all is sorted, no? So the consortium was established as an agreement among member organizations who are committed to contributing or expanding the African self-determination in the course of research and development, and also on issues to do with genetic biocontrol approaches. And this was with the view of eliminating malaria and also addressing other issues besides that, like the environment within the African continent. Now, the consortium was officially launched on November 30th in the year 2020 by not-for-profit member organizations, which include the Africa One Health Network, or the AFONET. We have the Africa Biosafety Association, the APSA, Multilateral Initiative on Malaria, MIM, NASAC, and also PAMCA, which is the Pan-African organization which deals on issues to control malaria in the African continent. Now, the vision of the consortium is to build an informed leadership. And this basically goes into the decision-making process when it comes to taking up issues to do with genetic biocontrol, because you realize this is a new technology, and if not properly addressed or basically communicated, then there would be issues of resistance when it comes to take up, as it has been mentioned by a few presenters before. So the main, or the vision of the consortium was that this information are given in the right way so that the uptake now is encouraged from that point. The approach of the consortium is to provide member organization with a conducive platform where now these activities, the talks can happen either individually or collectively, as we are now doing. This is a collective effort where we have the scientists, we have the communicators, and the other stakeholders, and we are now having a consultative discussion, basically on issues to do with genetic biocontrol, including funding, including how some of these communications can best be communicated with the rest of the stakeholders, again, so that it can be perceived in the right way. And to achieve this vision, the consortium will adhere to its core values, which number one is teamwork. Again, as we are doing now, these are collaborative efforts, and these are teamwork as well. Power negotiation, complementary strength, and we want to see improvement from one event to the next, one workshop to the next. And also, we have to be accountable. This, in terms of communication, we don't just Google and then we make a publication, but we have to do consultation. We have to basically refer to the right sources of information before we make an assertion. Sorry. So the mission of the Genetic Biocontrol Consortium is founded in building an informed local leadership, and basically this within the African continent. And this is basically why we are found across most countries in Africa. The other time we were in Ghana doing about the same thing, but with a different forum within the consortium. That's the Institutional Biosafety Committee Africa Forum, which was done in May, and that was in Ghana. And all this strengthening of informed local leadership is basically to strengthen or to build an informed decision-making mechanism within the region so that we can become self-sufficient when it comes to the issues of genetic biocontrol, which is an emerging biotechnology. This is basically for the benefit of the animal, the public health, and also conservation when it comes to the issues of environment. We would want to see that the best decisions are done so that we don't basically lose the best of our diversity. Our operation motto is founded on 3 pillars, which are summarized by the following 3 words, which is building, informing, and expanding. And these are opportunities that come with the emerging biotechnology. And this goes into technical capacity strengthening. We have knowledge exchange, also deliberations about the challenges and opportunities of genetic biocontrol technologies. And this is basically for the good of all stakeholders within the African continent. So we have to benefit, we have to leverage on some of these technologies. And this has to go to the policymakers, making the right policies right from our parliaments or whichever bodies that are responsible for making some of these decisions. Those who develop the products within the laboratories, the scientists, and the rest. So they have to be informed. They must have the right infrastructure so that they can expand the knowledge and also the information space. So these are our member organizations within the consortium, and they are not-for-profit organizations, and they play different roles in their capacities, and these within the African region as well. All these come together, and then there is complementarity, and we can now magnify the kind of information that every other member within the consortium would basically be having as they attempt to pass across some of these informations. Now, the way the consortium works is in the following way, where we have the committees, we have the forums, like SciComm is a forum, we have an IBC forum and other forums, and we have sessions where these committees and forums would basically be coming together. They discuss a few issues, and if needs be, then those issues can be escalated, where now we bring in the other committees and forums, and then they are discussed, and also they are communicated at the same time. We have mailing list and newsletter as well. And for the newsletter, these are a weekly issue, which goes out on Friday. And if you are here and you are not in our mailing list, then probably you can note down your details, and then you can be included, and then you'll be receiving our newsletters on a weekly basis. And this goes to a number of information, the new technology in the field, opportunities for funding, partnerships, and all those are the issues which basically goes into expanding issues to do with genetic biocontrol. We have conferences, workshop, and webinars. So these are workshops. As I said, we had another one in May in Ghana. Last month, there was also another workshop in Arusha, the SciComm forum in Arusha, which was well attended, and I must confess it was very engaging. Next year, we have second Global Congress, which will be done in Ghana, and that would be between the 17th and 20th of March, 2025. And I think you should all purpose to attend the event. Registration is now ongoing. We'll be able to supply the information so that you can register, and you can also hand in your abstract so that you can be considered for presentation during that time. Now, these committees, these forums, they don't work in isolation, as I've mentioned. They must come together, and they do consultations among each other, and then now we can give out the information as said. So the IBC forum would be consulting with the risk assessment or the ethics. You also have the Forum for Environmental Practitioners in Africa, FEPA, and I think Aga is the secretary to that committee. And then we have SICOM. SICOM is key because that is where communication basically comes out. So we cannot be basically having the scientists in isolation without the communicators. Communicators have to be there so that they can relay the message which comes out of such a meeting. Now, today's event or today's workshop is on science communication or the SICOM forum. And SICOM was officially launched on February 3rd, 2023. And this was after the event, or this was after the deliberations which came out from the first global congress, which was done in Nairobi between the 28th and 31st, 2023. And this was in a response to GMO 101 course. This was a pre-congress course, which was done during the congress. And this was done by the journalists, science communicators. And they saw the need to have a forum within the consortium, and basically to escalate this within the African region. And during the course, both the journalists, science communicators, scientists, they all expressed commitment of working together towards continuous engagement and partnership. And this basically was for the good of understanding aspects of genetic biocontrol, basically doing away with the stigma which comes when someone mentioned the issue of GMO. This happened in Kenya, and there was that need now to say the right information has to be communicated so that there is no fear or there is no propaganda around the issues of GMO or genetic biocontrol. So members of the journalism fraternity as a whole are a key component when it comes to communicating science issues. The vision of SICOM is basically to enhance interactions among science communicators, the scientists, and also other interested stakeholders. And I think by interested stakeholders, this would basically be the public and every other person, because the issues of genetic biocontrol doesn't necessarily touch on the scientists themselves in isolation or alone. But these products are basically developed so that they can be consumed by our people. And so the vision is basically to enhance that communication on these issues. And the mission is to be the multidisciplinary forum which is dedicated to supporting communication and continuous engagement, partnerships, common approaches, and also to provide a better understanding on issues of science matters which are related to genetic biocontrol. And science, or SICOM, works to provide platform where scientists, the journalists, and also science communicators can interact, as we are now doing. We will be exchanging information, and then we'll be basically reading from the same page on issues to do with genetic biocontrol. And among others, it is also to coordinate journalists with scientists for interview on GMO and related fields. So it's again during the GMO 101 course where there was a feeling that most scientists are not prepared, let's say, to do interviews, maybe on radio, on television, or whichever outlet which is supposed to be. And because of that, the journalists or the science communicators can be preparing them so that they can be ready to communicate these issues more fluently and also in the right way, because there are words which the scientists may be using which cannot be understood by any other person. So how basically to bring this down in a manner that is well understood can only be done by a journalist who is seasoned in communicating to the audience at most of the time. Within the consortium, again, we have mentorship program. And the way the mentorship program works is by mostly pairing. So we have, on one hand, someone who is experienced in a field. And on the other, there's someone who is basically joining or an upcoming individual in that field. So the two are basically paired, and then there is that teaching and also training which goes into that, and then there would be expansion, or there is growth when it comes to issues to do with genetic biocontrol. So this is a regional initiative, and it supports professions across the different sectors who are interested in a particular field. So the mentor-mentee pairs are brought together, they discuss regional issues or global issues, and then the mentees will receive guidance through obtaining a professional certification and other career development skills. And the consortium can assist on that. If you feel that you need to understand an issue, then you can come to us, and then we can pair you with someone whom we know is ready to assist and has the necessary experience that perhaps you are seeking. Then now, to the goals of this workshop and expectations. And before then, I would briefly mention about this workshop. This workshop has been made possible through partnership of the Genetic Biocontrol Consortium and also the National Biosafety Management Agency, the NBMA. And we are thankful for the collaboration, and we are thankful for this organization. It's the start, and so far so good. We are happy. And this workshop is meant to strengthen capacity in quality and balanced media reporting on genetic biocontrol technologies among the stakeholders who are here today. And as you go to report them, I know you will also be reporting them in a way that the other stakeholders who are not here would be able to understand. The workshop will provide an opportunity to the scientists, researchers, communicators, to interrogate innovative communication approaches that basically address gaps in communicating genetic biocontrol technologies that include gene drives, gene editing, and even synthetic biology. These are new technologies which need a deeper understanding so that they can be appreciated. They will also be able to explore how to develop key messages, and this is also very crucial for the scientists. Appreciate the impact of visual communication instead of doing roadside declarations. They're supposed to do unofficial communication. Mainstream, the impact of the mainstream and social media in public exchange of science information between the experts, the policymakers, and also the scientists, who are basically the intermediaries between those two divides. And this is in the process, all the process of genetic biocontrol, including the tools which are utilized to come up with some of these technologies that we've spoken about. Then, the workshop objectives is one, to increase the number of people with sufficient knowledge and understanding to be able to communicate genetic biocontrol within the African region, basically. Secondly, is to strengthen the alignment among stakeholders to build future collaborative efforts. As we've done, we are now have a partnership with NBMA, and we will be seeking more partnerships. And all this goes into the same thing, where we want an understanding, a better understanding on issues of genetic biocontrol. To promote communication tools and practices to a variety of stakeholders. This to advance best practices and inform decision making. And also to identify action steps and responsibilities that make biotechnology and biosafety agenda and support decision making process within the genetic biocontrol aspects. The following institutions which are participating in today's workshop. I'm not going to go through of them, but just to mention, we have NBMA, who are hosting us, Kenya Editors of Guild, thank you, and all those other institutions. They are all represented here today. This is for social media. So if you can access your X space, then you can be tweeting about this event using the hashtag Abuja 2024. You can also ask your friends out there so that they can basically escalate this. And our theme today is to make a difference by expanding awareness, and this is in awareness on issues of genetic biocontrol. Lastly, is about the pre-test. We had shared a link to a pre-workshop test. If you have not done that, maybe you can have a few minutes. You go to your phone and then you can basically fill the form out. We really appreciate. The link was shared through WhatsApp, and it's there. And then before you, I know you've been given the Pentagon. You can assist us so that you can assess your knowledge at the beginning of the workshop. You will also be having another one at the end of it. And then we will be able to know if there was a change in knowledge gaining, or maybe some might be subtracting some few points, but we'll be able to know at the end of this. So this is the information about the consortium. If you need to call, we have our number there. If you need to email, we also have our email address. Okay, thank you.